You see those hairs that are grafted in on the top, grafted in from the back, from the fro zone, from the fro ward, from the fro zone. They're grafted up on top. And you see, I'm not going to show you, it's too embarrassing to show it all, but back around 19, about 91, 90, 1990, they had a version of cosmetic surgery to restore or to help remove baldness. They don't practice this technique anymore because it's ridiculous. It doesn't, it does eliminate some of the baldness, but it leaves a scar and scar tissue. And it's called scalp reduction. And what they do is they just, before the scalp reduction, they cut like a slice, like a football-shaped slice, right off the top of your head. And keep in mind, this is a fulfillment of Psalm 89, where my crown was cast to the ground. Okay, and not only once, but twice. I had 2 scalp reductions. 2 scalped at different times. My crown was cast toward the ground twice. That, as well as the plugs, which were from the donor, the froward area. It's difficult to deal with froward. You have long hair. It's kind of difficult to deal with, but I don't mind it. I would love to have long hair again. When I was 17, before I was bald, grew my hair out, get a little permanent wave going. My best friend's sister was a beautician. She would perm my hair a little bit more and let it grow out like Billy Squier playing guitar in the rock band. It looked really fucking cool. All the chicks dig me too. It was great. I had a great body. And that was a difficult time in my life because I noticed that my hair was starting to get thinner. It was always thin. And it was very oily because I'm the Messiah. So obviously I'm the anointed one. So I anointed my head with oil. And so I've had oily hair. If I don't shower in a day or so, it would get really oily. And teenage-wise, I noticed that there's starting to be a baldness area down the middle, because parting the hair down the middle and as a teenager in the 80s was a necessity for coolness. You had to do that, and I loved to do that. And but I noticed it started. I could see, like, what the heck? Why is it? There's a bald stripe going across the top of my head. What's going on there? I was only 17. Am I really losing my hair? And I would even see like a little white bald patch, maybe about the size of a quarter on the backside. And what? No way. This is crazy. I'm only 17, turning close to 18. And I would get more permanent waves from my friend's sister, who was the beautician. And I got at least 3 or 4 from her, probably 3. And the third one did it. The third one, I went in to her beautician shop. She began to put the rollers in my hair and make a permanent wave. And then she went on a lunch break. So she left the chemicals in my hair and my head absorb. And she was gone for a while. And pretty soon I started feeling the burning on my scalp. I'm like, ah! I was crying out loud. What? And she heard me cry, and she came back and she put some kind of solution to heal or to ease the pain. But I remember driving home that day, noticing how brittle my hair was, and I was afraid to touch it. I was afraid the wind might move it out of place or cause it to fall out. That's how afraid I was. And so I was a freshman in college, in Harper College, right after high school. I couldn't go out anymore. I didn't want to go out. I was too afraid for the wind to blow my hair out of my head. That's how afraid I was. And I had to stay in my house, in my room. I couldn't go to school. I was too afraid, too ashamed for my friends to see that I was going bald. And I ended up quitting college. I had to drop out of college and just stay home. I had to stay home for a good 6 months. I couldn't go outside. My hair was so brittle. And I had to cut it off, and then I noticed that when I shaved it down, there was like the sebum, the amount of sebum all over my skin. It was like, you would scratch it out, and it was thick. It was like, what's going on here? At least a 16th of an eighth of an inch, possibly, no, 16th of an inch thick of this film, this sebum that was just blocking out all my follicles. And that was the reason why I was the anointed one. I had all this oil that was just mounting up, piling up, and choking my hair follicles. It killed them. It caused that and the perm that caused the to be choked and didn't fall out. And so I would try to do hair transplants. My mom would pay for it. This was like when I was about 19. I started with the hair transplants. And man, Dr. Travis from Chicago did a few in the front just to test it out. And he did a few more. And you notice you get that doll's head look, and it does not look natural. And that plus the scalp reductions, it helped. When I was in my 20s, I looked fairly presentable. I had more hair than I do now on the top, and I'm like, I don't want to do anymore. It's just I don't want to hurt myself going under the knife anymore. So I just stopped, and my mom would say, "You need more, you need more." And I'm like, "No, fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore. There's enough pain, enough torture. I'll just wear a cap or a bandana and I wanted to draw. There's a connection with Scripture when it talks about being grafted in with Christ. Those who are not of Israel were grafted in." And that's what I want you to realize and recognize. And this is a good healing video for me, because I have hope that one day the hair that was originally there will begin to grow again and be strong again. All over the top, the hair that's still there, or that's been choked by the sebum or the scar left behind, scar tissue. And that's my hope. If I can look like I did with my hair when I was 17.